Hey guys, Jerome here, and today I'm going to be testing my newly unlocked Lamborghini Gallardo in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 in the C-Class Ghost Slipstream season. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel as well as my Purple Team Discord. Links to those will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. So, the Gallardo is the second previously only Legend Pass car that has come to Asphalt 9 for free-to-play players to be able to unlock. You can get this car in the Jumeirah Drive Syndicate without spending any real money on it. Now, you may have to buy some relay packs to spend some tokens and stuff, but you should be able to get this car up a few stars, and definitely 2-3 stars if you buy all the 6,000 tokens worth of relay packs. And this car is pretty good. You see, I only have it at 3 out of 5 stars, and I was actually able to compete fairly well against some of the higher-end C-Class cars, even in a Ghost Slipstream season. I ran up against Vencers and Air Hiceras in a lot of these races, which do go faster than me by a decent amount, but even at 3 stars out of 5, the Gallardo still goes 215 miles per hour, which makes it definitely formidable against those cars and faster than almost all of the other C-Class cars. You can see in that race right there, we beat 2 5-star Air Hiceras, a 5-star Gallardo, an F40, and 2 maxed out Pininfarinas. And in this race, we're facing a Pininfarina again. Looks like we've got a Gallardo, we've got an Air Hicera, all of which are again at max stars. Now, the Gallardo is fairly easy to drive, I would say. At 1 to 2 stars, it is not all that great. At 3 stars, I believe is where it starts getting good. Most cars typically start getting good at around half of their stars, I would say. For example, the biggest issue with a lower star Gallardo, which I'm sure some of you faced inside the Drive Syndicate, was that a 1 or 2 star Gallardo just has not the greatest nitro efficiency, which can be quite annoying when you're trying to do money runs, because those, as you guys know, rely on you staying in Shockwave for much of the race in order to not drop Syndicate coins. Now, obviously, you can go in the air too, but pretty much what I typically do in money runs, my strategy is just to be in the air as much as possible and save up for Shockwave when I'm in the air, and then as much as possible when I'm on the ground, just be in Shockwave no matter what. Obviously, try and knock down as many people as I can, but that's typically what I do, and it's worked out fairly well. And here, we come in second to a maxed out Gallardo. Now, at the end of the race there, if you go back, it looks like I crossed the finish line first, but I came in a frame behind. Not sure what's up with that, but in any case, very close race. And now we're on to another quite close one on Shanghai. Now here, my competitors decided to mix things up a bit and go for Vencers instead of Air Hiceras. Yeah, there's no Air in this race, but 3 Vencers. There's also 2 Acura NSX GT3 Evos, which is not a common car by any means, but I guess it's becoming slightly more common over time. And one thing that I would say about the Vencer is, even though the Air is a better car overall and better for events, I almost would rather have the Vencer in multiplayer, due to the fact that it's nearly as fast as the Air and it actually has better drifting capabilities. Like, it tends to drift sharper. It just feels like a lighter car. The Air feels more stiff, so I personally might just prefer the Vencer over the Air in multiplayer. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think we have a lot of people who prefer one than the other, because it seemed to be fairly evenly split, I guess. Maybe 60% Air, 40% Vencer in the races that I played. But let's not forget about another car that I surprisingly saw quite often. It did very well, the Ferrari F40, which is at a lower rank, but it did seem to pack a wallop a lot of the time, and here I barely beat that guy in his, grantedly, very cool looking chrome F40. Now let's see what happens when you get a track that's typically better for more agile cars against a bunch of high top speed, low nitro efficiency cars. There are 5 Air in this race, as well as 1 Vencer, and I'm going up against them in a car that's 10 miles per hour slower, but that has better nitro efficiency and maybe slightly better handling. I'm not sure about that versus the Vencer, but definitely better than the Air, I would say. Now, you can see that I'm able to keep up fairly well with them, but you will notice throughout the race that my speed is just simply not the greatest at some points. In the straights, they'll pull away, but around the corners, see, I'm catching up to the Air, but the Vencer is getting a bit further ahead. That happened around the Cairo 360-degree turn, too. One time there was an Air in first place, and I was going around catching up to him, then a Vencer just sped past me around there. I think I ended up losing the race to that Vencer because of that 360-degree turn. that really makes the difference on Nile River. Coming up toward the end here, I knew I had a pretty good shot because of the final bends, that these cars might not be able to get around as easily as me. It turned out okay, actually, and after this turn, I hit Shockwave earlier, was able to pass this Aranera, but then unfortunately, this Venser passed me, was faster, there was nothing I could do about it, then I accidentally hit the side, and the Aranera passed me. Thankfully, we still came in third, went up 16 points, and beat 4 of the 5 maxed out Araneras in that race. And now for another one on Auckland. This race probably had the biggest variety of cars that I had in any race in this season, with each of the 7 other people in the race having a different car to each other. Notably, we have an ATS Corsa RR Turbo, which was not a popular car at all this season, but is quite good. If you're curious to see how it performs, I do have a couple videos up on my channel about it. In my previous video, I talked a bit about finally being able to max the Sheeran and hoping to get some epics for it in the Grand Prix. Well, I did get 1 epic for it in the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, the packs themselves didn't give me any. I was just left with the 1 at 8th place, which I ended up getting in the event due to me not having a maxed out Sheeran for a lot of the first part, and a lot of the other competitors already having maxed out Sheerans. Some people in my last video mentioned that it actually might be better to put my remaining 2 epics on handling instead of top speed, since the handling stat is grantedly low, and the top speed of the car is already quite high, and it never really gets to it. So we'll see. I probably will either max out one or the other, so I can have 3 fully maxed stats instead of just 2, which would happen if I just put 1 on one and 1 on the other, and it doesn't look as good, I must say. Also, the SCG-007S has come in a Grand Prix, being one of the fastest accelerating cars in the game now. Definitely going to try to get that. I'll probably try the same kind of sandbagging thing as I did previously. Worked out decently well last time I tried it. Unfortunately, I usually forget about it at some point in the way and end up failing the strategy, but I'm going to try my best this time, see if it's possible. Now, I do feel pretty happy that I was able to unlock 3 new cars in the Drive Syndicate, which I hadn't been able to do for a while. However, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to 2-star the GTR 50. We're at 4 blueprints away, and I have 1 more 10 times pack to open, as well as around 8 or 9 of these single packs, so we'll see. I just want to 2-star the GTR 50 so I can make it purple for my review. For my general review about the Gallardo, it's definitely one of the best high-end C-Class cars, having a good mix of agility and decent top speed for the class. I would absolutely recommend trying to get it in the Drive Syndicate, as you should be able to 3-star it without too much of a problem, spending only 6,000 tokens at max. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!